And welcome everybody to This Is Difficult, the podcast, known far and wide for being punctual and absolutely 100% factual on everything we say, including this sentence. We are the most well-known gaming podcast on the fucking internet, including that sentence. Well, I am your ghost. I don't even know where I was going with that. I am your
I think you did perfectly fine. I think that's perfectly true. Absolutely normal.
I was like, reel it in, don't get too far. All right. I am your co-host, Lord Yeshua. It's Josh in the person's body, and and
just say it at this point. There it is.
We are on Paul's channel. It's where you got me son himself, and another letdown. It's Zach himself. We're all back after a short hiatus of felt like 4 years, maybe.
Well, I mean, 2 weeks. What? 2 weeks ago, you and I couldn't get our act together, and then last week Paul skipped town. So
yeah, I was in Colorado.
Josh and I were like, so we're good to go this week, right? And Paul goes, nah, I'm out of town. Like, really?
Yeah, I was like ready, and then today I was like,
I swear I told you guys I was in Colorado.
Yeah,
no, you did. I just forgot. Yeah, I thought it was the week before, and I was like, wait, what week is it? So we haven't been in the past 3 weeks. Right? Was it 2 weeks and then on 1 and then off week? So we did 1 and then we were off before that.
Well, because didn't we did a couple like solo or like 2 for episodes. Like I did one with you, Josh, and I did one with Zach. So
yeah, and then that was the one that Colin popped in on randomly. That was fun.
We got new friends, new friends in the house. What's up? Yeah. What's Colorado show pics?
I do have pictures. I could send you.
It's NSFW. I don't know if we're allowed.
No, there was.
The show will be ending soon.
Yeah.
What are we talking about? Anyway, Paul, tell us what we got
guys.
in store today. Yes.
How have you guys been for the last few weeks? Haven't talked to you. You've been playing any games, any fun life events, any cool stuff? Josh, you can start us off.
Oh yeah. So up until this weekend, video game wise and life wise, been pretty busy. Finding a new place in the city, so it's been like super hectic. I did succeed. Woohoo! So my life is just gonna coast now. When I move in January, it's a beautiful apartment in the city. I'm being vague as to which, but obviously you guys know where I live. But so that's gonna take a lot of time off of my shoulders and allow me to game a little more, hang out with some friends a little more, and kind of set up for that big move. So that being said, me and Colin, hey, there he is. We're playing a ton of Mod Loader, and it was fucking awesome. And it still is. We're not done. We have a lot to go. But Grant Kirkhope, I almost said. Mark Kirko is like one of our favorite modders.
Marco Polo.
That's the guy. That show was really good, and
it was awesome.
That show
was so
really good.
It got canceled. That made me so sad. I loved
Everyone
it.
I talked to about this show is like, why did it get canceled?
God, it was good. And the spin-off like movie they did of 100 Eyes.
Yeah,
so cool,
so good. Yeah, I had no clue why that show got canceled.
Me neither. Amazing.
And that was
show.
Wong's big debut. That was his big.
If I'm not mistaken, he was amazing in it.
His first A-list role. Yeah. Where the fuck was I going? So
Kirko.
Mark Kirko is one of our favorite modders. He's just got a really good competency over banjo modding, specifically banjo modding. And I know he does other mods, but he just has a ton of them. He's made a bunch of like full game mods, and we pretty much played through all of them this past few weeks. All really incredible co-op adventures for us. So there's that. Obviously, Pokemon came out this weekend, so this is the big one. I'm going to super quickly. Should I even touch on it now, or should I wait?
Just wait. Wait for your current event.
I will say, I'll touch on that in current events. But I've been playing a lot of Pokemon. It's only been out for 2 days, and I put like 12 hours into it. So there's that. But yeah, aside from that, kind of just been chilling, hanging. What about you guys?
Zach?
So life's had its ups and downs the last couple of weeks. My grandfather passed away, so we had that. But it did give me an opportunity. And on the flip side of the coin, before I move forward, my daughter has been making so many cool noises. She's almost ready to sit up, and it's like I'm just so excited.
You can almost hold a controller.
She can almost hold a controller. Actually, nice. She can hold a controller. The question is, can she do anything with it? Which is no.
The bones haven't connected yet. Have you ever seen an X-ray of a baby's hand? Like none of the bones are attached. It's creepy.
It's crazy. So yeah, a lot of sort of ups and downs in the family realm. But my grandfather's funeral, Josh, this is relevant to you and me, did give me an opportunity to get finally back to the comic book store I used to work at. And I have picked up this. This is a box of Unfinity. Josh, this will remain sealed. So I said a couple weeks ago that I will not be putting Unfinity in the Uncube. This box will remain sealed until such time as you and I can get together in the same room with some people and draft the crap out of it.
Then put it in the cube, maybe.
I said.
But
I
you have
texted
every
you. I said
card
anything.
in the cube?
Every silver bordered card in 4-2-1 ratio. So 4 of every common, 2 of every uncommon, 1 of every rare, and that includes holiday cards and pony cards and
it's like 2,000 cards.
It's a ton of cards. And there's also some there's some honorary cards. So we have a copy of Shahrazad in there.
Oh, no way.
Yeah, just cards that have made us laugh historically. And that's what I want to do with Unfinity. So anything that makes us laugh, and if we do it on stream or something like that,
I love that.
If it makes chat laugh, I will throw that card in the cube.
Let's all have a big pilgrimage and do that. Especially
fingers crossed, God's willing, one day. God's willing.
Totally. That's awesome.
Yeah, we'll get to play that.
Awesome. Worst case, that box becomes worth like $500.
Well, so that's the thing. I have a sealed box of Unglued that I bought for like $500, maybe.
This is gaming, Paul.
Yeah,
I know, and that's why I haven't stopped yet. It's just something I don't relate to.
Oh, Unglued? How much is that worth?
The original Unglued from 1994. I bought it for about a little less than 500. It is over 1,000 now.
Damn! And
I'm basically just going to ride that out until Magic dies a fiery death.
Yeah, which is.
And I have, I have Unhinged and Unstable also sealed.
I will say Magic has been kind of doing a lot. This is actually semi-relevant to what you're saying. Hasbro has seen a massive dunk in its stock lately. This is actually pretty relevant to gaming. They pretty much Magic is their main IP, and Hasbro,
that and D&D.
That and D&D, and Hasbro was like, we're gonna run with that. We're now fully aware of how much money we can make off of Magic and D&D. Yeah. And we're going to drill a hole and shove it down that hole until money squirts out. And people were literally like, okay, that worked for a little bit, but now we feel completely taken advantage of as a player base. And they, after the $1,000 product that they just created, that is not
4 packs or something like that. It was foolish.
They pretty much abandoned their fan base and are now reaping those rewards, which is a massive dunk. In
it's a huge concern, but
anyway,
that's another topic for another day.
Yeah,
that where someday when Paul's not here and just turns control over to you and me for a while, we turn it into a Magic podcast. No, but in terms of other gaming, I've done quite a lot.
All right, we're back.
Yeah, we're back. I have completed the first 6 Mega Man games. And
we're going to talk about that, Colin.
7. Mega Man 7 is awful. I loved it when I first played it back on the Super Nintendo. It is so much worse. It did not age well.
I remember loving it the first time I played it, just because it was like, it was like 8-bit,
16-bit.
Yeah, but like looked better, and so everything looked cool, and I was very excited about it. And then the more I played it, the more I was like, ooh.
Yeah, the gameplay is just not as strong as the previous games, which is unfortunate. But there's a couple of cool bits that did carry through the rest of the series, and they also grabbed a couple of really key elements from Mega Man X, and I think that's part of the problem is Mega Man X existed at that point.
Did you know Mega Man is Capcom's worst selling exclusive franchise?
Yeah.
I just found that out the other day, and it shocked the fuck out of me because it's my favorite by far.
Yeah.
And
that's actually crazy. What's the best selling?
Monster Hunter.
Fighter. Oh, is it Monster Hunter?
Yeah.
Oh, of course
it was Street Fighter.
It was Street Fighter. So Mega Man 7, I've been playing that. I have also played Mass Effect 2. Really, really enjoying that playthrough. I think what's going to happen on my stream is going to be Mass Effect Mondays, because I got a 3-hour block every other Monday that I can stream, at least 3 hours that I can stream. So we'll be playing Mass Effect then. And that frees the other 2 blocks open for God of War Ragnarok. So awesome. God, I played for 2 hours the other day, and I had an absolute blast. Minor spoiler that I'll try and keep as vague as I can. You have a colossal boss fight in the first 2 hours.
That sounds like God of War. In fact, why is it 2 hours? It should be 5 minutes.
Well, no. You have a boss fight within the first 5-10 minutes. There's a bunch of exposition. Then as soon as
we have a Chronos,
The first
Chronos
one
style
opens
fight,
up
though.
with a great boss fight.
Yeah, this one's
Yeah, that fight
on
is
par,
pretty
if not better.
Nice.
The
Then
one
the
I think of when I think of epic style fight, I think of the Chronos fight, and that fight is so good in God of War
It's
3,
really good.
where you're just
Yeah.
like, this is like fighting a planet.
The
Like that.
Colossus of Rhodes is really cool too.
Wait, which one is that?
The
That's
Colossus of Rhodes. It's in 1 or 2, I think.
2,
God of
I
War.
Oh
think.
yeah,
First
yeah,
two.
yeah. That
But
one's-
yeah,
I think
this
I know the one
opening
you're talking
fight, it's like if you remember anything about the plot of the first God of War, the PlayStation 4 God of War, this is the well, sorry, Josh. This is the
only
fight
person who doesn't
that,
like that.
that you expected
didn't
to have
dislike
through the
it.
entire game and never got.
Nice.
And it
Oh, yeah.
finally happens, and it is like
That's a spoiler.
Chat and I
but-
were I know. Chat
know
and
it
I
is,
were
yeah,
like, what? There's another round? Okay, here we go. And then he pulls a classic Kratos move, and it just you're like, okay, yeah, this feels like God of War again.
I was about
can't
to say,
fucking wait.
just
I can't
right
wait.
off the bat, the first one felt like it was a revamp that was starting as something more different and becoming more like God of War, while this one seems like it's right away, just like God of War.
Yeah,
I've
it
heard-
just
What I'm
dumps
seeing.
you in.
I've heard people describe it as like, and don't take this the wrong way, because it's by no means an expansion or like like not a full game on its own.
DLC.
But it's not that.
Well,
It's very clearly not
seems-
that. But I've heard it described as like the rest of
The
God of
rest
War
the story.
2016.
Interesting. Maybe it's
Yeah.
just that
Yeah,
the story is
17, whatever
that
it was.
like
Sorry, that was my
18?
phone,
maybe
bro.
the story is really seamless. If it's
Yeah,
2016,
exactly.
that's
No,
nuts.
I think it was 18.
Yeah,
It has to
honestly,
be.
so
That's
like
crazy.
it feels to me like this started as a DLC chapter, and then they were like, oh wait, no, this
No.
needs to be a
This is
whole
a great
No,
game.
they
in terms of Paul, in terms of conception, like the way they were thinking about it.
Okay,
I
because
I
the
don't-
way I've
I
heard
can't
like
prove
Cory
that.
Balrog talk about it is that this was all very clearly plotted out, and like when you play
Yeah.
the first God of War reboot, like it very
Guy's
clearly
name is
has a
Balrog.
beginning, middle, and end, but
Yeah.
but they leave the story very open as though like there's the saga's going to continue. So
They
and
clearly want 3 in each mythos.
I think they
Oh,
only want
absolutely.
2 in this one.
They want 2?
They've
Weird.
said that
There-
this is
I've
the
seen a lot
conclusion
of
of
articles
this
saying-
story arc.
Oh,
So
that's
Greek?
I have seen that.
so
Greek,
I
you
would
got
imagine they go
Valhalla,
to another mythology after
Japanese.
this.
Ooh,
Yeah.
I would love.
I saw a
ancient,
really
like-
okay. So I saw
the
a
next one?
really bizarre take on it, asking, "Will they do
Christian mythology.
Christian mythology?"
Yeah,
That would be like
I would fucking laugh
That-
my ass
I
off
would
if he's
too.
beating the
I think
shit out
it'd
of
be kind
Jesus.
of cool.
Jesus
it would be
Christ
so
here.
cool.
I think it'd be cool.
Like,
How dare you bite my father?
Why is it treated as taboo? Like, I'm sorry.
Well,
If
have
it
you
was
ever noticed?
that's
Okay,
turned
it's
on-
it's
I
funny
know.
you mentioned that because
I
have you
don't
ever
know if this
noticed
can happen.
that in any kind of like Judeo-Christian mythologically based TV show or movie, there is no Jesus ever.
Right. Ever.
Like so
I don't-
like Supernatural, they cover like everything,
True.
but and they do that with many other
Dogma.
properties.
Chronicles
Yeah,
of Narnia.
Dogma, like none of it. It's like that's off limits,
Yeah.
And I think that's boring.
that's
I think
boring.
that there
Bring
would
it,
be
like,
Not
let's-
that there's
let's go.
I think
Exist.
actually like deep Jewish mythology is way cooler than Christian mythology,
yeah.
especially
really cool.
100%.
Yeah.
if you look at like apocryphal books and stuff like the Book of Enoch and things like that. Really crazy cool stuff.
The issue is that Kratos kills every god in each of the mythos. So that
He doesn't though, and he doesn't
He
in the
doesn't.
new God of Wars.
No,
and,
he
and
doesn't.
so that's why they
70%.
there's leeway for this now.
Okay.
You
Yeah,
know,
like
and he
they-
could
they-
be fighting
let me
like
rephrase, let me
Nephilim,
rephrase.
and
He beats the shit out of every god. I can just take. He's holding Jesus by the hair and just like, you're smashing the A button over and over again, and then you press the B button to slam his face into a rock over and
oh,
over
we need
again.
to clip
Had
that.
enough, son
Okay.
of Christ. I'll see you in 3 days, and you snap his neck. Get it? Because he's gonna come back from the dead.
Yeah, we got it.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
Oh,
I think
please
it's like
clip that.
Oh my god, that's.
I
freaking
think that is
hilarious.
maybe too far for the studio to go, but I think it is amazing, and I would actually play that in a heartbeat. Just
I
for the
would
humor of it.
too. That's
It might
the
be-
sad thing.
That's the. I'm thinking, what are the other ones, the pantheons that exist that would be like
that's the
popular
one
enough?
thing about Christian mythology is the pantheon's very small, right? Like, but
God,
there's
Jesus, Holy Spirit.
yeah, but they've got all the
Mary.
archangels and stuff,
Mother
and
Mary pulls out some shurikens.
and like I said, so if you go like if you're sticking strictly to like canonical stuff, you still have like archangels and giants and things like that, right?
Yeah.
If you're going into like the apocryphal stuff, you've got like Nephilim and Golem and like freaking Lilith and things like that. So
they could stretch some too, like
demons,
Jezebel
they're like
that.
Satan, fucking
archangels.
Yeah. There's cool shit you could do.
There's some really cool stuff.
I would just hate it if they did it and it would be like, oh, you're only fighting like Satan and stuff like that. I'd be like, this kind of
that's a cop.
Always fight the good guys, like you always do. So
yeah.
But that's what's great about Kratos is he doesn't discriminate.
He does not discriminate.
He just fights everyone.
Does he realize he's like becoming these gods as he's doing that?
Yes, very much so. That's
absolutely.
like
he understands that, right?
Yeah. That's like the whole point of.
Yeah,
that's true.
It's some of the characters they've introduced in this arc, though. I hope that, like, when they do continue the story, I really hope characters like Atreus and Mimir
Loki
persist.
I could see. You think he's Loki?
2008. He for sure is
also,
Loki.
I mean,
they say that at the end of the last game. That's a spoiler. I'm sorry, but the what is the word? Statute of limitations is over on that one.
Also, so I did want to apologize to any members of my chat who were watching. At one point, we had a flashback cutscene thing, and there was a character that I was like, "Oh, that looks like Deborah Ann Wall." Turns out it is.
Nice.
From Daredevil.
Oh, cool.
It's pretty cool.
Oh,
yeah. Karen Page from Daredevil.
Okay. Cool. So what I've been doing these last couple weeks.
Yes.
Yes, Paul, please.
We got there.
I mean, I had some tragic events as well. Like, a very close friend, passed, and we did the funeral and everything, and so that kind of drew me away from a lot of gaming related stuff, and even I think that's one of the reasons we didn't do the podcast one week. Certainly part of why I haven't been streaming during the week. Part of why. But some good things too. Went to Colorado, had a blast out there. Went and saw a hockey game and did a lot of hiking and
Avalanche.
Yeah.
How are the Avalanche doing this year?
They're doing good. They lost the game we went and saw, which was a bummer, but it was an awesome game. In fact, like we were kind of kicking their ass, but their goalie was just on another level, and Avalanche's wasn't. And so it was 3-2. St. Louis Blues won. We had like 10 times the shots on goal that they did, though. Like it was insane. And Avalanche has like the strongest power play in the league. And we had a few power plays and only really capitalized on one. So it was kind of a bummer, but it was still a very exciting game. Super fun to be there.
That's good.
Yeah. And yeah, so that was great. I've been playing a ton of Call of Duty.
Oh, really? What the actual fuck?
Awful person.
Modded Call of Duty, original Call of Duty,
the new one, Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2, and it is actually
I know,
very
like,
good.
Who are you and what is?
Well, here's the thing.
I've heard it's like got a really good campaign.
It's got a very good campaign. One of the best that I've played in a long time. There's been people talking shit about it. They're dumb, and maybe
Call of Duty.
Yeah,
they're dumb.
I think it's just because people are tired.
Yeah, maybe.
Like, okay.
Yeah.
If you had to just like sequentially number it, it's like Call of Duty 40. You know what I mean? It's just like, all right, Jesus.
Yeah, and in fact, like they've already made a Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2, and this is Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2. It's like, okay.
That's what threw me off. I was like, what is this?
Yeah.
They've made this game.
But so good campaign. They've got really good, multiplayer modes, obviously. They've got a new mode called DMZ, which I played a lot today, which is like an extraction mode. Think like Escape from Tarkov or the Hunt Showdown. So that's a lot of fun. That's very cool. And they're bringing raids. And that's really what pulled me in, is like the promise of raids. Because I miss that so much from Destiny. And like, if I can have that without having to do all the commitment that I have to do in Destiny, like, I'm for it. So
That sounds fun.
excited about that when that drops. I also have been playing Pokemon Conquest, which, if you don't know what that is, it's the title of our show tonight on accident. But it is like, it's a Pokemon strategy RPG, and it's very fun. It's
not totally
exceptionally
lost on
fun.
that.
And it takes place during the Sengoku period in Japan. So it's samurai. So I've been playing that for Samurai Saturday. Very fun. The first week I played it, I didn't really understand it very much. But this week I definitely started to figure out all the systems, and I'm starting to enjoy it a lot more. It's very cool. So
It's good.
that I've played a few other games here and there, but not much. I'm going to play this soon, but I'm actually going to play this first, Pokemon Scarlet. So we're gonna start this.
He's got the wrong version, Josh.
No, if
Now we
we
can
all had the
trade.
same version, it'd be stupid. We got the right version.
I always get blue.
I always get red.
I did too.
So
Yeah.
See,
my first one was red. So
actually, this was the first time ever I chose the grass starter, though, in my life.
the grass starter does
Well-
look cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that was
why
a
I was
no-brainer for me. I'm absolutely choosing the grass.
Really? This is
Yeah.
the first time I was just not sold on fire or water, and I was like,
Yeah.
I'm just gonna do the neutral.
The only time I didn't do fire starting out was when they did the frog guy. What was his name? The ninja one? Greninja.
That was Sword and
Greninja.
Shield. Yeah.
Yeah, he's
I will
cool.
say the fire guy was really tempting to me this time around, but like,
Yeah.
it just didn't make the cut.
But yeah, so I'm excited about that. We'll be starting that this week, and then when I'm finished with that, we'll start God of War. And that way me and Zach's streams don't overlap, so that'll be cool. Yeah, and that's about it. Boys, do you have current events? Current events. Zach,
My only-
we can
There you
start
go.
with you, my guy.
Mine is very simple, but I think you guys are both going to appreciate it. The website that I use for modding Game Boys and Game Gears and such, Handheld Legend, has announced that starting in January they will be carrying Game Boy flashcards.
Hell yeah.
Woo! That's insane.
Hell yeah.
So I am very excited to get my hands on one of those. This one I just held up is my niece's Christmas present. I think I know what she'll be getting for the next year.
I have
amazing.
I have the Everdrive GB. This is a really good flashcard made by this dude in Ukraine, Crits. Very expensive though, the Everdrives are.
Yeah.
They're very expensive, but they're excellent. I've got the X5, but I think like the X7 or whatever the next one up is can do like save states and everything, like some pretty cool stuff, but I didn't really need that. But yeah, they're
really cool.
They're the highest quality flashcards on the market, I would say, but you also pay for that. Like, they're very expensive. So
Still waiting for Nintendo to just give us those.
yeah, you know what? They've done that in Japan for both Game Boy and the original Nintendo.
Oh wow!
Have they really? Dang.
Well, in the original Nintendo, it was in the form of the disc drive. You can go to kiosks and download games onto that. And then for the Game Boy, they actually have flash carts that you plug into a kiosk.
That's nuts! I bet those are worth such monies.
We'll do you last because I think I know what you're going to talk about, Josh. Yeah, and I think we're going to talk about that for an extended period of time. So I'll do mine.
That sounds good.
Sad news. It just happened today.
Yeah.
It's very personal to me. I was telling Josh and Zach because this guy was actually kind of the inspiration for a large chunk of my life. And that is that Jason David Frank, unfortunately, has passed on.
So terrible.
It seems like it was suicide, unfortunately, which is even worse. But Power Rangers was a huge influence on me. Like most of my adult career was coaching gymnastics, and that's because I started gymnastics and martial arts to become a Power Ranger. Like
I was gonna say, Paul wanted to be a Power Ranger.
I wanted to be a Power Ranger when I was young. My parents wouldn't let me do karate because they thought I'd be violent or something. To be honest, it's fair. I had a very bad temper when I was a child. So they put me in gymnastics so I could learn at least the flippy stuff. And then later in life, I started studying martial arts. By then I had kind of moved past the Power Rangers thing, but it was still something that I had always wanted to do. So,
Still want to morph.
I
mean, come on.
Yeah, you want to morph. So, big inspiration on me, and that really breaks my heart. So,
that's a shitty one. Me and Zach. Oh yeah, I was about to say we both met him. So
yeah, he was doing a meet and greet at the comic book store in southern New Hampshire, where I worked when I was just out of college, and he didn't advertise it. He didn't say anything, but if you just came up to shake his hand and you didn't have something for him to sign or something like that, he would just find something to sign.
Yeah.
Like he would just.
Oh, I remember that.
Guy,
he would literally like grab things out of a backpack at Comic-Con. He'd be like, "You get a piece of plastic, like a Snickers wrapper," and literally sign random shit he had on his person for people.
Yeah, but like he wanted to make sure that everybody went home with a big smile on their face. He's just the nicest guy. And I ran into him at a Comic-Con. I think it was Fan Expo a few years ago as well. He's just it's a huge loss for the kids entertainment community.
Yeah,
agreed.
Yeah.
My experience with, just to touch real quick, was I met him a bunch of times working at Comic-Con, and just the most genuine. I met all the Rangers, and Blue Ranger's a dick. Red Ranger's so pretentious. The Pink Ranger didn't want anyone to talk to her. And Green Ranger's
she was weird.
We just looking around.
That was my first crush.
We were like, is Jason David
Susie
Frank
Q,
on set
dude.
yet? Susie, and he's just hanging out in the back, in a sweatshirt. Oh, yo, what's up, guys? We chilling, this and that, just hanging out with the crew. We don't need to escort him or anything. He's just a regular ass dude. And he was telling us about stuff that happened on the Power Rangers and all this really cool stuff. So it's a really sad one. Yeah. And like Paul, I was a big Power Rangers nerd. Oh. And loved it. That one's shitty. That one really sucks. Shitty. And I will say, because Colin, sorry, you go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say, just building on that. Yeah, I agree. I think I've met at least 4 of the 5 originals.
I didn't meet Yellow. I never met Yellow, actually.
So I did meet Yellow, and she's awesome. She's just as good as Green. Just as nice a person as Green. Yeah. But at the very least, Pink was weird. Because we don't know their names other than Jason David Frank.
Blue was a dick. Blue was the mic is giving us feedback. Cool. Can you put giving us diva.
He's actually really cool in the show though. Especially later when he stops being such a nerd.
Yeah.
He's wait, I'm hot, and takes the glasses off.
Yeah, it was strange.
He becomes
the Pink Ranger was she was really don't talk to her. That's a Stan Lee thing, and he didn't even like that. His handlers would impose that.
Stan Lee also met before he passed, and he was so nice. His handlers were assholes and trying to get in. Dude, he was literally wait, I want to take a picture with them. I don't care. And that's amazing.
That
dude.
Is so cool.
Every time, people were we gotta go, Stan. He's hang out for a sec, or they'll be
exactly.
Can't say that with the mic on, and he's I'll tell them what I want. He doesn't give a shit. He was the coolest. I will say real quick, just to touch on it because it is also relevant, and Colin mentioned it in the chat. Kevin Conroy also passed away this week.
Oh my God, that one killed me.
The best Batman, period.
Best Batman.
And now he is immortalized as the best Batman, in my opinion. Now,
absolutely.
Now, that's it. That really fucking sucks.
It really hurt because I had just finished playing those games on stream.
Yeah,
and my cousin texted me. My cousin texted me. He's like, "We're planning a tribute," and I'm like, "Just go watch my show."
Yeah.
I already did it.
I can't. He was still voicing this late up into his life. I think that one was just natural. He was just getting old, but
yeah, it was.
That's a tough one too.
Yeah, he was awesome. Batman the animated series, man. That was also
truly one of the best. Some of those episodes make it the best Batman, in my opinion.
for
Batman
sure.
Animated.
Yeah.
Batman animated, Batman Beyond.
Batman Beyond.
The movies
so
that they did.
The movies. Even Killing Joke, which was pretty panned. He was still awesome.
I liked Killing Joke. There was problems with it.
There was problems, but
the scene at the beginning
Conroy,
with
can't do
Batman and Batgirl.
Why?
Wildly inappropriate.
Totally inappropriate, unless, and the only way this works, and it's ruined by Kevin Conroy's voice actually, is if that's Dick Grayson Batman.
Sure. Yeah. Fine. Yeah, but they never
But
really
it clearly
alluded to
wasn't.
that.
Yeah, yeah.
So,
That's how easy it is to subdue Batman.
Yeah.
You just gotta hit on him.
Yeah, that was whack. It was like we just wanted to make this cartoon rated R, so
I was like, is there really there was
Who
like a
can we-
perfect show aside from that.
Catwoman doesn't fit into this one, so
Yeah. I was like, how about the one that's like his daughter? Perfect.
yeah. God
No,
damn
she
it.
just like his daughter.
All
So
right.
it's fine.
Josh, what's your current event? Let's move on.
My current event is Pokemon. God, it is. That's what you thought I was going to say. Okay. So I really held back saying a lot of words earlier when I said I played Pokemon, but now I'm going to say all those words.
Yeah.
And not all of them. I'm going to give you a very brief first impression of the game because neither of you have played the game yet. So
Correct.
This is just my first impression. This is the best fucking Pokemon game, guys. Like, I'm not even kidding. I said the same thing about Sword in a way. I said the features were there. Beef. The features were there in Sword, but the game itself wasn't quite up to snuff. I will agree with that. What's the timeout before
The timeout is the performance. I've seen Nightmare Fuel.
I'm going to touch on that.
Yeah.
I will touch. So right before I get into the positives of the game, I will get into the glaring negative of the game. Clearly, this game was made and finished with worse graphics, and they are patching over it. They did a rush job patch over it because this is just my interpretation. Almost certainly it had the same graphics as Arceus, and they saw reviews from fans saying, I can't believe Game Freak is not fucking doing new graphics since Sword. And I'm almost certain they did a slap job on this game to just like quickly patch it over. That being said, there are issues with distance with the graphics. Distance is atrocious. It's worse than the N64. There are characters that when I'm 10 feet away from them disappear. And then I'm like, where am I going? Or there's items in the desert and I'm like, I can't see them until I'm close enough to them. And that's really inconvenient for adventuring a lot of times.
Yeah.
I will say those are things. The textures do some weird things sometimes. There's definitely some Nightmare Fuel. All of my negatives are solely based on the graphics, though.
Yeah.
So I find it hard to hold it too hard against the game.
What about the frame rate? I hear it drops below like 20 FPS.
I think that's the text. Well, I actually never had any issue with the frame rate as much as I think the graphics are just like not up to it. You know what I mean? Like I'll notice some like slower movements, but it's always because the texture is like a little off. Like whenever I'm up close and it's moving right, it looks really good.
Hopefully there's a wake-up call for Nintendo and the Pokemon Company. A lot of people are saying that they need more dev time, their cycles too quick. But like look at Call of Duty, they come out with a new game every year, right?
Yeah.
So like
it looks great.
It can be done, but what they do is they have other studios alternating and working on it. They need to allocate more resources to their biggest grossing studio. Like Pokemon sells more than any other Nintendo product by far. And
it's bigger than Star Wars.
Game Freak has always since day one been at least one generation behind, sometimes 2 or 3.
Yeah.
In this case, I would say probably at least 3 generations behind the current technology on what they're putting out in their games. And that's a huge fucking problem. Also, have you ever played any of Game Freak's other games? They're god awful. They're fucking
terrible.
hot trash. And so, like, it's very clear to me that the Pokemon Company and Game Freak caught lightning in a bottle with Pokemon, and they've been riding that coattail as long as they possibly could, and it's starting to run out of steam. And Nintendo just needs to step in at this point and be like, okay, you guys have creative control, but we're allocating these studios to help you make a good game. Look at freaking Breath of the Wild, right? It's like the first game that came out on the console.
It was on the Wii U also.
Like we talk trash on Breath of the Wild all the time, but that game is absolutely fucking stunning, you know, and
it's gorgeous.
You know, it runs really well. Look at Mario Odyssey, fucking 60 FPS,
incredible.
And it's gorgeous. Why aren't these people helping out the Pokemon Company?
You can see a Korok. You can see the tip of a mountain and a Korok on it from across Hyrule without zooming in.
Yeah.
And here, I can't see a dude sitting in the chair 10 feet away from me because he's glitched out.
Yeah, they need help, and it's hopefully it's a wake up call for Nintendo and the Pokemon Company to get together and be like, hey, we're going to lose money on this. We're going to lose our most valuable product.
Yeah.
Because
I think that a patch is absolutely needed as far as graphics are concerned. But all of this considered, the patch is needed. You know, the graphics are definitely like barely more polished than Sword, and some parts are worse than Sword because I will say the character sprites look better. Character sprites do look better. We're at that point where character sprites in some environments, I'm telling you, up close.
And Sword was just an upscale of 3DS graphics.
I agree. Almost and
they used the same engine as Sun and Moon. Yeah.
That's the one, Sun and Moon.
Yeah.
All that being said, and encapsulating all of those negatives and saying, wow, I can't believe Nintendo. I can't believe Game Freak. Like, holy shit. Fucking amazing game. Let me start by saying Nintendo has never been one to say, are you going to buy this game because it looks good? Like, they've never been one to hold something beautiful on a platter and you open it and it's something even more beautiful. You know what I mean? Like, Zelda looks good, Mario looks good, but they look better now. Mario didn't always look good. Zelda didn't always look like when Wind Waker came out, when Twilight Princess came out, these were games that looked good enough. You know what I mean? And we were just like, okay, you know, I still wish.
Okay, that's a prolific statement, Josh, because I'm thinking
Twilight Princess
I've only watched Twilight Princess played.
It looks, play it again.
When it came out,
when it came out. But now I play it and I'm like, they were reaching for better graphics that they weren't capable of yet. Now, whenever it does not hold up, like Wind Waker holds up because it's stylized. But I do not think Twilight Princess holds up.
I think Twilight Princess still looks good. I booted up the HD version on the Wii U like a year or two ago.
But that's different, Paul. We're talking about the original version.
Okay, fair.
Yeah, original version. And I'm not, you know.
You could say that about any number of GameCube games, though.
Well, that don't have HD remakes.
Yeah. Like,
no,
a lot of GameCube games look like hot dick.
But then again, Wind Waker.
The wrong phrasing.
Why would you say that?
Bad phrasing. Trash.
I will say, well, okay, Wind Waker, Paper Mario, even Sunshine. These games hold up really, really well, in my opinion. Paper Mario, like, come on. But okay, Pokemon, we weren't maybe shooting the right ballpark. We put a launch date and we weren't quite ready. We forgot, oh yeah, we got to put graphics on this thing. Whoops, I forgot. You know, it was just like stick figures until a month ago, pretty much. So if you forget about all that and you think, why do we play Nintendo games in the first place? It's for that amazing quality and that incredible caring of the gameplay itself. Okay, let's focus on that. Pokemon fucking crushes it. This game truly does try to at least somewhat reinvent what Pokemon is all about. It really feels like Elden Ring meets Pokemon, honestly, as far as how the world is. I'm not saying it's like Elden Ring. I'm saying it has principles for sure that kind of make this a more fleshed out, you know the word, full and fleshed out game. I will say first off the bat, there is co-op in this game, although it is shell co-op. So you have adventure mode co-op. This is huge because I didn't know this was a feature until I literally started the game, and you get it an hour in. You can play on the same file as someone, like with your own save data, and like travel around and whatnot. And you can do raid battles. You can trade and battle with each other like instantaneously in that setting, which is really cool. You cannot play technically together though, so you cannot like fight in a gym when you want to do.
So it has the same
Pokemon.
It has a comparable problem to Elden Ring.
Yeah, it's almost like your ghosts together, but then there are certain features that are allowed. That being said,
it's still an upgrade.
Exactly. Yeah. This is still a huge step up where I'm like, give me this for every game. I just want to see my friend there, like when we're playing in the Water Temple or when we're beating Bowser.
I'm like hoping for friends to be able to jump in while I'm streaming and play with me.
Yes.
You know?
Yeah, exactly. And it's up to 4 players. You can ride on your shit together, you know, whatever. I'm trying not to spoil anything. And for the most part, and you can see each other on the map and lock in on each other's locations. And for the most part, have an adventure together. You know what I mean? And like actually be in there and whatnot and talk and like all that stuff. You can't like drop items like Elden Ring. It's definitely not as like refined as Elden Ring was, which wasn't the most refined co-op. But I will say it's just a massive step up for Nintendo. And then of course the online capabilities aside from that are everything and more that we had in Sword and Shield. So I will say very streamlined. Right off the bat when you start the game also, you're going to notice everything is more streamlined. The map is just like absolutely gorgeous, insane for a Pokemon game. It has many features on it. The start menu, you have literally, you can turn on and off any feature you find annoying, or everything is just streamlined and right there for you. It's not like a big in-depth menu with like different icons. It's one pause menu and everything is right there, worded out and fully understandable for you. Good. Pokemon has never been easier to grok as far as like how to raise, catch, battle, all that stuff. Easier to grok, but a higher threshold for efficiency and expertise, in my opinion.
That's fun.
they've added more elements that make it less easy, actually. So just like in Elden Ring, where there's more areas to go around, you have a wider, thicker world that is more accessible in different ways instead of just a linear, like it is somewhat linear, but it also allows for more deep play. And you're not just knocking people out with your starter with the first move your starter learns. You know what I mean? Like, oh, Blastoise used Bubble Beam for the entire game and I just win. It's not like that. So I actually do think there's a lot of pluses.
That's how Arceus was, and it was awesome. Arceus was fucking awesome.
Yeah.
I think this took a lot of notes
actually
from Arceus.
Arceus is it's on the same engine, so Arceus was like a beta for it, but I think Arceus is my favorite game since freaking Black and White 2. Yeah.
If you liked that aspect of it, I will say the biggest plus about this is probably an Arceus thing, or Arceus. I'm just gonna say Arceus.
It's Arceus. It's a hard say.
The biggest plus for me is the open world in this way. So it's not just an open world as in you can roam, like, Breath of the Wild. It feels very breathy, and there's like capabilities for terrain, traveling and whatnot, and it feels really good in that way. But where was I going? It's also open world in that battling and leveling up and creating the perfect team is streamlined massively. So it's probably like Arceus in a way, but you can literally throw your Pokemon into the wild and they can just like fight.
That's awesome.
Passively.
I'm excited about that.
It's really fucking, and they can pick up items and all this stuff. That is badass. You can pretty much not fight for as long as you want and still level up your Pokemon, but you can fight anytime you want just by touching a Pokemon. That's how you catch them, all that stuff. It really adds an element to the open world that feels less like intrusive on the player, where you're like every 5 seconds. They kind of fixed that in Sword and Shield, but not to the extent where you never had to fight a wild Pokemon. Now you basically can fight exactly how you want. If that includes never fighting anyone but trainers, that's all you. You know what I mean?
That's dope.
And did I hear correctly that the trainers don't auto engage also?
The trainers do not auto engage. In fact, the very first trainer you meet has an exclamation point over his head, and he's like, you can see like text words that are like, they tell you something like, oh, maybe I should go talk to him.
Bitch.
Yeah, basically. The first one is like, hey, over here. You talk to him, and he's like, any trainer that looks like that, like,
I'm gonna step on your pets.
Any trainer that looks like me is someone you can battle, and then you battle him. And so, like, basically, you can go up to these people, but if you walk in front of their path, there's none of that.
That's nice.
But there's also not just. I'm trudging mildly on spoil territory, but I actually don't think it's super. I think I'll do my best. It's not just gym leaders anymore. Like before, it was like, okay, 8 gyms and some side quests and like some like very linear stuff on the side. But yeah, it's great. You know what I mean? There is a lot more now. There are, for me, at least 3 main quests so far that I've seen, and all of them have like points across the map in different ways. Now it seems to some like you're being inundated too much for like, yeah, but it's not really, it's not inundating you too much in my opinion, because these are all optional. And the characters even tell you, if you want, they say stuff like, if you're up for it, like you do this. But if you don't want to do that quest, don't. Literally don't have to even beat the gyms. Like this is crazy. It's very Breath of the Wildy in that way. You can just go, I assume, straight to Ganon, which would be like Victory Road type shit or whatever. But like, there's like 3 at least paths so far, and they're interchanging with each their own storyline. And as far as the story is concerned, it is a slow burn on this one so far, but there's a lot of interesting parts coming up. Lots of characters. Character development is very big in this game. As far as world building, it's also very big. There's like a Pokemon University. It's like literally like Hogwarts. It's literally like Hogwarts. And there's like professors and all this stuff. So I will say, yes to all the negatives, but also the positives are really knocking home runs out here. Just quality of life.
Hopefully they patch it up and fix it.
Hopefully they patch it up and fix it. But to me, this feels like Link's Awakening for the Game Boy turning into Link's Awakening for the Switch in a way where like I'm finding lots of quality of life. I'm just like, oh my God, I can't believe they did that. Like that just saves me like so much effort, or like, oh, I can't like, and it's, oh, there's so many easy things now. Like there's nature items. You're like, oh, I caught a Gengar, but I wanted a modest Gengar, for those of you that understand what I'm saying. Okay, well, there's a modest herb here. If you just feed it to your Gengar, he becomes modest forever. And so you don't have to grind out and breed and hunt. Cool. You just got this fucking one item.
All right.
But,
I hate to stop you here, but we're 48 minutes in. We need to move on.
I was going to stop, but I will say that that's everything.
One quick thing.
That was my mini review.
Yeah, let's hear it.
One quick thing. After 25 years, did you guys see this? Ash is finally the world's
Ash
greatest
is-
Pokemon
yes.
trainer.
Yeah,
This
very
is
cool.
also big. This week, maybe it was last
Finally.
week, Ash became the
Freaking
world
beats a
champion and
shit
beat
trainer.
Leon.
He's
I think.
terrible.
Dude.
Yeah.
He looks good for 35.
Yeah.
Yeah, he looks good for a 10-year-old. Wow, so much happened this year, Mom. Let me tell you all about it. No, it's like clearly he's not 10 anymore. I think
No,
he's got to
yeah.
be like 17 on the show or something like that. But yeah,
He
he's
still
literally
looks
35
10.
years old, isn't it? That's so funny. But now I'm
Anyway.
thinking, where the fuck does it go now? He retires. He's a millionaire, 100% now. Like,
Right.
Yeah.
we're just gonna gloss that over, you know?
All right. Let's
Yes,
move on.
we are.
Game awards.
Hold on.
So
Oh yeah.
let's I'm gonna kind of rapid fire these and everyone say their prediction and we'll move on to the next category. All
We say
right.
the
Yeah.
prediction and then
This is
see
gonna be
like
quick,
the
'cause,
top
like,
candidate.
We've
No.
been off for a while, so we wanted to get caught up there.
Yeah.
Most of the episode is going to be that.
Yeah.
But we do want to make our predictions here because we will obviously do some coverage of the Game Awards.
Dude, I've never even heard of this fucking first game.
Okay, so yeah, so
Must
here
be
we
something
go.
to be thinking.
We got Game of the Year, the main event here. A Plague
Elden
Tale
Ring, move on.
Requiem, which is a sequel to Plague Tale Innocence.
Crap.
And no,
I don't know who
I
paid money to get
actually
this on the
hear
ballot.
these games are fucking amazing.
Yeah, we all hear these games are amazing, but how many of us have played these games?
I haven't played it, but I
Right.
actually really do want to play them. They
my
look
wondering
really
is
good.
I
hear they're
haven't
excellent.
even heard this game exists until just now.
Rapid fire.
was-
Let's go. Elden Ring,
Winning.
God of War Ragnarok, Horizon Forbidden West, Stray. Honestly, the worst game
Trash.
I've played this year.
Stray is like some of these are paid to be on.
Xenoblade Chronicles 3, which I hear actually is fucking amazing. Okay, so my prediction here, while I really want Elden Ring to win and think it should, I don't think it will. I think it'll probably be God of War or Plague Tale, but leaning towards God of War.
I will say.
What about you guys?
I will
Quick.
say that I think, quickly, I want it to be Elden Ring. I think it's going to be neck and neck on this one specifically because God of War just has the hype train rolling in at the right time. It's like they fucking launched at the right time.
Yeah.
I personally do think that Elden Ring has more longevity, and I think that might push it over the edge. But
Yes.
I do agree with Paul that it's like this right now, and it could be like a hair for God of War. I want it to be Elden Ring, though.
I agree with that completely, Josh. I think I will be playing Elden Ring years down the road.
Oh, yeah.
I will play God of War once, maybe once more a long time from now.
40 hours.
And that's, and then I'm done with it. But I also have to say, I don't think it's been out long enough. I don't think enough people have finished the game by the time the Game Awards are announced or even decided. I do think it's going to go to Elden Ring.
That's fair.
I
All right,
also
next
want to
category. Best game
I was gonna say,
direction.
it's a PS5 exclusive. Also, was the draw against God of
Right.
War for me.
No,
as
it's
well.
not. It's on PS4.
Huh?
Yeah,
Oh, well, it's a
PlayStation
one
exclusive.
company exclusive, is what I meant.
Yeah,
to
yeah.
say.
Oh, fair. All right.
Where Elden Ring is more.
So,
exclusive. Okay.
best game direction: Elden Ring,
Doesn't even feel
God
like
of
a-
War, Horizon Forbidden West, Immortality. Never even heard of it, and again, Stray, which
What the
is the
hell?
worst game that I played
Yeah,
all
no,
year.
Stray's out.
This one seems
This
hard to
one I
vote for God of
actually
War.
think would go to God of War fairly because it's much more cinematic than Elden Ring is.
Yeah.
Um,
We've
this
voted
means?
God of War in the past as the best movie we've played all year.
Exactly.
The first one.
Well, it's
Now,
creative
I think-
vision
I
and
think-
innovation.
I think Horizon has a chance here too, but I
what I was
think
thinking.
God of War is a strong
Actually,
favorite.
I think if we're interpreting this literally, innovation in game direction and design, does that mean like in videography? In like how like I don't think this is the same question we're thinking it is. I don't think this is how the movie looks and how it feels like a movie, or how the game looks.
Well, I think that's how you judge direction in a movie as well.
Is it?
And remember,
and it probably
most-
would go to God.
These awards are decided by fan vote, aren't they?
No, there's a
Probably
player's
not.
choice section. They have a jury.
So
yeah.
that's the one. All right,
Jury.
so then, I'm going to call for Horizon.
I think it's going
that's
to go to
fine.
God of War if it's for actual like direction, as in is it like a movie type thing.
if that's how we're interpreting it, then it's God of War. If it's actually like innovation in direction, technology usage, then it goes to Horizon.
Okay, next category: best narrative. We have Plague Tale
Fucking God of
Requiem,
War.
Elden Ring, God of War, Horizon Forbidden West, and again, this Immortality game I've never even heard of. So if you ask me, again, I would think that God of War would win this, though I think that Elden Ring actually has a stronger chance than a lot of people think, because the way it tells its narrative is extremely unique, and it does have a very strong narrative. That being said, again, I think Plague Tale Requiem has a strong chance here. But like you said about God of War earlier, I think fewer people have played this, and fewer people have the capability of playing it because it's such an advanced game that it runs like shit on everything. So
yeah, I will say I think that God of War would cinch this, only because people are gonna think about it, be like, "Well, the God of War story," and then what is Elden Ring story again? Like, okay, wait,
like you actually have to stop and think about it.
You have to stop and remember it. Like, I remember it because I smashed the shit out of that game, but like, I bet a lot of people are gonna be like, "Who's Godric?" Like, I don't even know what's going on.
I just barely remember that game, and it's because I've had so much fun playing it.
I will say this goes to God of War most likely.
I think it goes to God of War.
Okay, best art direction. We've got Elden Ring, God of War, Horizon Forbidden West, Scorn, and Stray. So I'm probably going to be the wild card out of the three of us. I think this is going to Scorn, hands down.
Interesting. You think it's going to Scorn?
Scorn, have you seen Scorn? It looks like an H.R. Geiger game. Like, it looks fucking incredible.
Yeah.
Okay. As far as artistic stuff is concerned.
Okay.
I think all the rest of these games have a chance. In fact, I think Stray, the only thing it has going for it is its art direction. And, Elden Ring, God of War, and Horizon Forbidden West all look gorgeous as well. But I think Scorn's going to cinch this one. What do you guys think?
I think God of War is exactly the same art direction as the first game. So I don't think it's in with a chance here. It's not pushing the envelope in any way. Elden Ring, we all agree, is gorgeous. Like the artwork, the use of rendering technology really pushes that up into a higher echelon in my book. Horizon, again, very pretty game, but it's what we'd expect out of a Horizon game. So I think what was it, Scorn? Is that the one you're saying? Yeah, I think Scorn does have a leg up on the rest of them in this case.
All right, next.
Sorry. Elden Ring. I just don't think enough people have played Scorn. I think Elden Ring is like the most intricate design work I've seen in if you look at the church edifice or something like that, it's insane. It's insane.
Yeah.
Best score and music. Again, we have Plague Tale Requiem, Elden Ring, God of War, Metal Hellsinger, and Xenoblade Chronicles. So to be fair, I haven't played most of these games. In fact, the only one I have played is Elden Ring, which Elden Ring has great music, but I don't think it's standout enough.
Memorable, yeah.
I think Metal Hellsinger has an excellent chance here. But I don't really have
this category
enough input here.
I think that God of War could possibly, but I think Elden Ring had some of the most epic fucking songs ever.
Yeah, it was awesome,
but not memorable. I get that.
But not memorable. I have a question on this category. Where's my turtles?
Yeah. Oh shit!
Yeah, I agree. The music in that is incredible. Yeah,
Wu-Tang Clan is on that record.
Yeah,
and it is fire.
That might be why it's not actually.
That's my personal choice for best score this year, for sure.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I can see this going to a random one like Hellsinger.
Moving on. Best audio design. Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2, Elden Ring, God of War, Gran Turismo, Horizon Forbidden West. Again, I've only played 2 of these games. If you ask me, Call of Duty sounds like every other Call of Duty, so I don't think that one's going to win. Elden Ring's got excellent sound design. I'm sure God of War does. The racing games usually have a high chance of winning this category.
I could be wrong, but I think I read somewhere this year that the new Gran Turismo actually sampled real car engines at correct RPMs to create their sound design. That is next level. Forza is not doing that.
Yeah,
they're
I can see it going to that.
Josh, I can see it going to Gran Turismo.
What do you think? Same? Okay, cool. Next.
I personally think Elden Ring on this though too, just because it's so elaborate. But if it's Gran Turismo, I would be happy.
All right, the next one's best performance by a voice actor. Do you guys care about this category that much? Let's skip it. No, I actually no. But Christopher Judge for Kratos is, and I would
Kratos. He's
that's a. Okay, games for impact, don't really care. Best ongoing game, you've got I don't really care about this either. Apex Legends, Destiny 2, Final Fantasy 14, Fortnite, and Genshin. This is best ongoing game, and it's literally always these games. Who gives a fuck?
What are these games?
They're live service games.
Live service, yeah, games. As
none of
Best
these win.
indie: Cult of the Lamb,
Oh, here we go.
Neon
I think-
White, Sifu, Stray Can Eat a Dick, and Tunic.
Sorry.
Tunic.
Oh, I thought
Go
Destiny was in
Tunic,
here.
but it's going to be Neon White.
I actually think it's going to be Cult of the
Sifu.
Lamb.
Wow,
Sifu, right.
everyone's.
Sifu.
So
I
I
think
think
Cult of the
Tunic
Lamb
could get
looks
it.
the
I
most
think
stylized.
Sifu could get it. Yeah, Cult of the Lamb. Yeah. Ugh, that's a tough one.
That's a tough category.
My
I'll be
vote's
interested to see
Sifu.
how it goes.
Sifu looks pretty stylized. I like that one.
I hope it's Tunic.
Tunic looks
That's-
awesome. I've
yeah.
played it a little bit. It's very fun. It's very
I
cool.
need to
I
play
love
it.
it. It's very charming.
Looks amazing.
Best mobile game: Skip.
Is he in
Best
any- I'm just
community
glancing,
support:
we don't know
Skip.
it.
Who
Innovation and accessibility: Skip. Not that I don't care, but like we're short on time. Best
Yeah, we just-
VR,
it's not
AR.
interesting
None
to
of
us.
us care about that. Best
What's God of
action
War
game:
Initiative?
Bayonetta 3, Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2, Neon White, Sifu, and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle Shredder's
Yeah!
Oh, get
I
the
think it's-
nod.
Revenge. Okay.
I actually think it'll win.
That's probably
hope
my
so.
choice, but I actually think Sifu's going to win this one.
I do too,
Sifu,
Paul.
huh?
I really hope it's Turtles. I mean, 6-player multiplayer, 6-player co-op is
Awesome.
Four.
I will
Is
say
it,
Six.
it is 6-player co-op.
Six.
Yeah, because we
It's
played it
not.
with 4, but yeah,
Yeah.
it's the game is awesome and it deserves that credit.
It's
Yeah.
awesome.
I still say Neon White looks. I will say that looks really
looks really
amazing
cool.
too. The gameplay is just
Platforming and
nonstop,
stuff,
like
yeah.
really fast platforming. Yeah. So
Yeah.
Best action adventure. Is this not the same?
How is Elden Ring not in this?
Okay, best
Because it was
action
nominated for
adventure.
freaking everything
I
else.
feel
God
like
of
this is
War.
the same fucking category. Just they
God
had
of
too
War
many
will win
games and
this.
they had to put other stuff in. Plague Tale, God of War, Horizon, Stray, Tunic. Yeah, we're gonna say God of War.
God of War.
Yeah,
How is Elden Ring not in this?
because it's in best role playing. They
Wait,
categorized it as role playing, which actually I
100%.
think is fair. So Elden Ring, Live Alive, Pokemon Legends Arceus, Triangle Strategy, and Xenoblade Chronicles 3. I think Elden Ring has this no problem.
Ring has that.
Landslide, yeah.
Though
I think
Xenoblade
the-
probably is going to be a tough competitor.
It's again
Yeah.
an exclusive though.
I mean,
So feel
Arceus
like-
was really good too.
I
Like,
love Arceus. It's probably the most. So my favorite game I played this year, probably Elden Ring. The game I had the most fun playing this year, Pokemon.
Turtles.
No, Arceus.
Really?
Damn.
Love it.
Okay. I have Arceus at number 2.
I
Okay.
think it's probably
But-
Elden Ring. Most fun I had.
Best fighting game. Does anyone care? Let's go.
Let's just see what we got.
Wait,
What is
okay.
anything-
DNF Duel, JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, King of Fighters, XV, Multiverses, and Sifu. I don't think Sifu
Sifu.
should be considered a fighting game. I think that's an
No.
action game.
Okay.
Okay, moving on. Best family game. Kirby and the Forgotten Land, Lego Star Wars, Mario
interesting.
Right, they
Rabbids
dropped the
Sparks
list.
of Hope, Nintendo
Nintendo,
Switch
I think you're gonna
Sports,
win this one.
and Splatoon. Yeah,
didn't-
I think Lego Star Wars could win that, don't you think?
I
I
actually
hope
think
so.
it's
That'd
going to
be
be
great.
Splatoon.
Yeah.
I think Splatoon
It's-
has
yeah,
been
it's almost definitely
hyped.
Splatoon.
It's like hype. But I don't give a shit about that game.
Best strategy sim. None of us really play those. Let's skip that. Sports, nope. Multiplayer.
Is Mario on there? Mario's not even on there.
So we got Modern Warfare 2, Multiverses, Overwatch 2, Splatoon, and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. My vote's for Ninja Turtles.
Yep,
I think
definitely.
Ninja Turtles. I don't think Overwatch should be in this
Right.
category.
I
at
think
all.
Call of Duty could win this though.
I actually think Splatoon could also win this. I'm telling you, this game has a lot behind it. But
Content
it's
creator,
obviously-
we don't care. We should win that. Just kidding. Best debut indie.
We
Neon.
should win that.
Neon White, Norco, never even heard of it. Stray, Tunic, and Vampire Survivors. I actually think Vampire Survivors has a very strong chance
Really?
in this
I
category.
think
It does have
Stray
a
had the
chance.
I've heard
most.
amazing
Stray had the
things.
most sound on its launch.
Stray's
where
gonna
people
win
were
way
like-
too much shit it doesn't deserve. That game
Agreed.
sucks so much.
I agree.
It
I think
sucks.
Tunic should win this one personally.
Yeah,
I would like to see
just-
Tunic win this one.
Yeah. Or Neon White.
We're gonna
but-
skip adaptation because that's movies. We don't care. Most
I think you're right.
anticipated game.
Oh yes, let's do this one. I think we're
Final
all gonna choose the same
Fantasy
way.
16, Hogwarts Legacy, Resident Evil 4, Starfield, and Zelda Tears of the Kingdom.
Zelda.
I think it's Zelda, but I think Starfield and Hogwarts have a huge chance, especially
Oh,
because
they-
Hogwarts
they
has
do.
a huge following outside of gaming.
I can't help but think we did this last year for Starfield. No offense to Starfield.
Right.
So
Yeah.
here's a thought. Zelda wins this category for the wrong reasons.
Yeah, maybe.
That's
I think it's just hyped. Like, didn't it win last year? Starfield
think
won
so.
last year.
Yeah, I think Starfield won.
I think Starfield won last
Yeah.
year, and now here we are again, and people are going to be like,
I know.
eh.
It's the same as like the ongoing games category. It's always the same
Yeah.
fucking game.
I will say Hogwarts Legacy looks incredible though.
Yeah.
It really
like that.
does. I've
Looks
I see.
really, really
I'm still
good.
playing the dumb Hogwarts mystery mobile game, and I see advertisements for Hogwarts Legacy all the time.
Ooh, might as
So-
well.
Okay, all the rest of these
don't
are
wanna give JK any
esports,
more
and none
money.
of us care. So let's wrap it up, boys.
Best
This has
esports.
been This Is
Best
Difficult
esports.
podcast. I'm Paul, Ryugami-san.
Esports coach.
I stream stuff. You can find me at Ryugami-sama on Twitter if it doesn't fall apart. And that's about it. Josh, where can we find you?
Yes, find me at Lord Yeshua and Lord Yeshua TTV on all my bullshit streaming games.
Cool.
Back.
I'm on Twitch. I'm on Twitch at Another Letdown. I'm live this week, Monday, Wednesday, Friday. I think, pretty sure. At least Monday, Wednesday. Mass Effect Monday, and God of War on Wednesday.
Cool.
And then to be determined on Friday.
All right.
And then I'm if Twitter doesn't implode, you can find me at DENONCZD as long as that holds out. I'm not going anywhere.
Cool.
I just don't care.
All right. Thanks, everyone. Have an awesome week. We'll see you next time. Goodbye.